Keeping in mind that well-being is a skill that can be altered through experience and practice, I'm going to describe a few research findings on how well-being shapes the brain. Dr. Richie Davidson, a psychologist at the University of Wisconsin-Madison and a leading researcher on meditation and well-being, describes what his research has found about the neuroscience-backed findings of well-being. He says that there are at least 4 keys to well-being: your ability to control your attention, your outlook on life, your generosity, and your resilience. The first is attention. It means having the ability to regulate yourself and stay focused on the task at hand. It involves the ability to concentrate and stay focused even when there are distractions or when something is boring to you. This ability to control your attention is fundamental to our ability to, first of all, be present and mindful in our daily lives, but also to have self-regulation. Self-regulation is implicated in pretty much every aspect of our lives, from resisting a temptation not to overeat if you're trying to lose weight, to doing well in school, to keeping a job, to fewer run-ins with the law, and so on. Quite simply, when we have control of our thoughts and minds, we have more control of our emotions and behavior. One seminal research study studied 1,000 children born in the same city in the same year and followed them for over 30 years. The researchers found that children who had better control over their thoughts and behavior, even when tested under the age of 10, grew up to have better mental and physical health, higher incomes, and better jobs. They committed less criminal acts and had a better quality of life. Clearly, attentional control plays a huge role in our well-being. Fortunately, we know that we can train this skill. It isn't something that we're simply born with and can't change. Yoga and meditation can play a significant role in helping us pay attention. One study found that even 5 days of meditation training for 20 minutes per day led to significantly better attention. This was a controlled study, meaning that those who participated in the study were either assigned to receive meditation training or relaxation training. It's important to note that those in the meditation group even showed better control of stress, lower anxiety, less depression, less anger, and less fatigue compared to those in the relaxation training. We'll talk a bit more about meditation later in the course. The second component of well-being, according to Davidson and his team, is your outlook on life. He defines it as the ability to see the positive in others, the ability to savor positive experiences, the ability to see another human being as a human being who has innate basic goodness. The opposite of this, having cynical hostility, which is defined as high anger and frequent thoughts that other people can't be trusted, is related to heart disease, metabolic disease, and dying younger. Research has shown that, like attention, we can modify our outlook fairly quickly. Engaging in activities like compassion meditation and even mindfulness meditation may lead to greater positive outlook and more kindness. Both of these types of meditation will be practiced in this course. The research suggests that outlook can be modified with very brief amounts of practice. In one study by Helen Wang and colleagues, they assigned people to either receive compassion training or a control group for 2 weeks, practicing 30 minutes a day. They found that the brain circuits that are important for positive outlook were strengthened in the compassion group, significantly more so than in the control group. Importantly, the brain changes also predicted altruistic behavior, meaning participants not only had a better outlook, but this outlook contributed to more giving. The third key to long-lasting well-being is resilience. Resilience means how quickly we can recover from hardships. Some of us can encounter an adversity, such as a tough breakup or losing a job, and recover within a matter of weeks, while another person can take months to years to recover. This research suggests that, all things being equal, those who show a more rapid recovery to stress and adversity have greater well-being. There are individual differences in resiliency, meaning that some of us are just naturally more resilient than others. Those that are more resilient are not at the whims of their environment to the same extent as those who are less resilient. However, your resiliency isn't fixed throughout life. It's a skill that can be practiced and cultivated over time. Research investigating whether certain connections in the brain can be altered by regular practice in mindfulness meditation found that through this practice, individuals could become more resilient. Mindfulness meditation is just one example. There are likely many other practices that you can engage in to build resilience. And finally, the last component of well-being backed by neuroscience is generosity. Giving to others, whether it's time, help, conversation, or even just your presence, turns out to be quite crucial to your own well-being. One study investigated how a short-term compassion training could increase generosity. This study found that helping behavior towards strangers increased in participants who had received short-term compassion training, but not in participants who had received short-term memory training. How much the participants did the compassion training played a role in how much they gave. The more they practiced compassion meditation, the more generous they were. In another study lasting 3 weeks, participants were assigned to a course on mindfulness meditation or cognitive skills training delivered on their smartphones. Participants arrived at the lab individually after doing the training on their smartphone. When they were in the public waiting area outside of the lab, the participants sat in an open chair next to 2 people that were involved in the study, but who were pretending to be participants. The actual participant didn't know that they were involved in the study. As they sat and waited, a person using crutches and a large walking boot entered the waiting area. The key finding from this study was that those who had done the mindfulness training gave up their seats more frequently than those in the control group. All of the methods that have been mentioned here, including mindfulness meditation and compassion meditation, will be discussed and practiced in this course. As you'll come to see as we proceed through the course, the practice of yoga is just as much about training the mind as it is training the body. We will discuss how the tools of meditation can train the mind to pay better attention, have a more positive outlook, to be more resilient, and to give to others. Remember, all of these keys to well-being are skills. We can shape them, for better or worse, through our experiences.